The Remington Model 870 is a pump-action shotgun manufactured by Remington Arms Company, LLC. It is widely used by the public for sport shooting, hunting, and self-defense. It is also commonly used by law enforcement and military organizations worldwide. Development: the Remington 870 was the fourth major design in a series of Remington pump shotguns. John Pedersen designed the fragile Remington Model 10. John Browning designed the Remington Model 17, which served as the basis for the Remington 31. The Model 31 was well liked, but struggled for sales in the shadow of the Winchester Model 12. Remington sought to correct that in 1951 by introducing a modern, streamlined, rugged, reliable, and relatively inexpensive shotgun, the 870. Sales of the 870 have been steady. They reached 2 million guns by 1973. By 1996, spurred by sales of the basic Express models, which were added as a lower-cost alternative to the original Wingmaster line, sales topped 7 million guns. On April 13, 2009, the 10 millionth Model 870 was produced. The 870 holds the record for best-selling shotgun in history. Design details: the 870 features a bottom-loading, side-ejecting receiver, tubular magazine under the barrel, dual-action bars, internal hammer, and a bolt which locks into an extension in the barrel. The action, receiver, trigger system, safety catch and slide-release catch of the Remington Model 870 shotgun are similar to those used on the Remington Model 7600 series pump-action centerfire rifles and carbines. The basic trigger group design was first used in the automatic 11-48. 12-gauge stocks will also interchange on the older 12-gauge size 20-gauge receivers, although modification is needed to fit the smaller size 20-gauge receivers employed since the late 1970s. Several parts of the 870 will interchange with the semi-automatic Remington 11-87. The original 870 models were offered with fixed chokes. In 1986, Remington introduced the new Remington Rem Chokes system of screw-in chokes. Initially, the Rem chokes were offered only in 12-gauge and barrel lengths of 21 inches, 26, and 28. The following year the availability was expanded to the 20-gauge and included other barrel lengths. Production 870s for over 30 years had a design whereby a user could fail to press a shell all the way into the magazine when loading such that the shell latch did not engage the shell, and such actions could tie up the gun. This was caused by the shell which slipped out of the magazine under the bolt in the receiver to bind the action, requiring rough treatment of the action or even disassembly to clear by the uninitiated. The potential issue was resolved with the introduction of the Flexi Tab carrier. Guns with this modification can be identified by the U-shaped cutout on the carrier, visible from below the gun. The cutout, combined with the modified machining on the underside of the slide assembly, allows the action to be opened with a shell on the carrier. Variants: there are hundreds of variations of the Remington 870 in 12, 16, 20, 28 gauges and .410 bore. In 1969 Remington introduced 28-gauge and .410 bore models on a new scaled-down receiver size, and in 1972 a 20-gauge lightweight version was introduced on the same sized receiver, and all of the smaller gauges today are produced on that size receiver. From the original 15 models offered, Remington currently produces dozens of models for civilian, law enforcement, and military sales. 870 variants can be grouped into Express, a matte blue-black bead blasted with hardwood, laminated hardwood or synthetic stocks and chambered for 2 3/4, and 3 12 or 20-gauge shot shells. All Expresses have been chambered in 3 inches in 12 and 20 gauge, but markings have varied. Marine, a nickel-plated with synthetic stocks. Mark I, adopted by the United States Marine Corps in the late 1960s and saw service into the 21st century. The Model 870 Mark I has a 21 inches barrel with an extended magazine increasing total capacity to 8 rounds, and was fitted with an adapter allowing use of the standard M7 bayonet for the M16 rifle. MCS, a new modular version of the M870 which can be quickly modified with different barrels, magazine tubes, and stocks for different purposes, such as urban combat and door breaching. Police are Euro-chambered in 12-gauge only with a 3 inches magnum chamber. Blued or parkerized steel finish. These models feature a stronger sear spring, carrier latch spring, and a forged steel extractor. Receivers are stamped Remington 870 Police Magnum as of 2014. They are equipped with police-specific walnut or synthetic stocks which are fitted with sling mounts. Walnut stocks lack checkering as found on the Express Wingmaster models. 870p models come with matching walnut or synthetic faux ends that are shortened to prevent interference with most vehicle-mounted rack systems. The shortened faux end also allows quick visual inspection of the magazine regardless of what position the faux end is in, whereas the lengthened sport-type faux end on other models partially blocks the loading port when pulled to the rear. Police models are available with 18 inches or 20 barrels, with or without rifle sights, and have a standard capacity of 4 rounds. They can be ordered with a 2 or 3 round extended magazine tube from the factory, bringing total capacity to 6+1 or 7+1. All police barrels come with an improved cylinder choke unless special ordered. Super Mag are Euro-chambered for 3 or 1/2 12-gauge shot shells. Wingmaster are Euro-blued steel with high-gloss or satin walnut stocks. They have been offered in skeet, trap, and field configurations. Originally the basic Wingmaster was chambered for 2 3/4 rounds and came with a fixed choke, and the 3-chambered versions were designated Magnum models. Models built after 1986 offer the Rem choke interchangeable choke tube system, and the 12 and 20-gauge versions are chambered in 3 inches for either 2 3/4, or 3 shells. Prior to the introduction of the Police Model 870, altered Wingmasters were popular among law enforcement. Chinese versions Arms manufacturer, Norinco, of the People's Republic of China has made unlicensed copies of the Remington 870 as the design is no longer under patent protection. The most common of these designs are the Norinco HP9-1 and M98, the difference being that the HP9-1 has either a 12.5 inches or 14 barrel, whereas the M98 has an 18.5 barrel. In the United States, where most Norinco products are specifically non-importable, this shotgun was imported and sold under the names Norinco Hawk 982 and Interstate Hawk 982. Users. See also, Combat Shotgun, KAC Master Key, List of individual weapons of the U.S. Armed Forces. References. External links, Remington page for 870, A Guide to Collecting Remington 870 Shotguns from Remington Society. Remington page for 870 Tactical, Remington Military MCS page, Important differences between Remington 870 Police and 870 Express shotguns, KAC Master Key page, Model 870P Max Police, blog and forum about Remington 870.